What's up, guys? Taylor here for Beacon of Light. Welcome back. I am your host, Taylor Beacom. Today we're going to be talking about three different things in the news. Donald Trump uses the word bloodbath at one of his rallies, and the media is in a frenzy. An illegal immigrant from Lebanon crossed the border from Mexico into Texas, claiming that he was a member of Hezbollah and is going to make a bomb. He was on his way to New York City. We're also going to be talking about tech giant Nvidia and their latest AI chip. Stay tuned. Donald Trump is in the news again. What do you know? He's always in the news. He hasn't been out of the news since he started running for president, essentially, and even before that. So he used the word bloodbath at a rally recently where he was actually talking about manufacturing of automobiles in the United States and how the Chinese Communist Party and Xi Jinping are opening manufacturing plants in Mexico and how it would be a bloodbath if we continue to outsource our manufacturing of automobiles to different countries like Mexico. And when he said bloodbath, and by the way, here's one of the definitions of the term bloodbath. When he was referring to a bloodbath, he wasn't talking about people dying and actual physical blood being shed everywhere, and this was very obvious. He was talking about an extreme economic disaster, an extreme economic reduction, something that is very obvious if you watch the full context of the clip. Yet the media, once again, like they've done before with January 6th, where they purposely left out Trump talking about protesting peacefully and patriotically, like the comment he made about illegal immigrants crossing our southern border, where the media took it and ran with it, saying that Trump said that Mexicans are all rapists and murderers. But he also said that most of them are good people. They're once again taking his words out of context, using this to stir the pot, to sow more political division than we already have in this country, and to get clicks and ratings. These people are in an echo chamber. I wonder how many people in this country believe that when he said bloodbath, based on the way the media has been reporting it, truly think that he's some sort of tyrant. He already had 4 years in the White House. Don't you think that we would have experienced some sort of actual bloodbath had that been the case? Joe Biden is the one being involved in all these wars, Ukraine and Israel, Gaza, Israel, Palestine. How dare the media continue to blame conservatives and moderates and libertarians and people like Trump for doing all of the misdeeds that they're doing themselves? This is obvious. But one thing that I don't think we're talking about because of the way the media is reacting is the reality of outsourcing our manufacturing to places like Mexico, especially if our enemies, like China, the Chinese Communist Party, get to be involved. It will be an economic bloodbath for us. Trump is doing the right thing by trying to bring manufacturing back to this country where it should have been since the 1980s when we started outsourcing our manufacturing to places like China, who are now our mortal enemies and are communists. Even James Singer, a Biden official, some sort of campaign official, said that Trump was doubling down on political violence. I think we're all fed up with this nonsense, and we can see through it. It's transparent as ever. Luckily, we have places like X and Rumble, places where our voices can be heard, where the truth can be revealed. Host of Morning Joe, Joe Scarborough, this guy on MSNBC, another unhinged lunatic like Keith Olbermann, chimed in on the subject. He decided to dismiss the idea that Trump's use of the term bloodbath was only referring to the automobile industry. Now here's a little clip for you guys about how many times the term bloodbath, in the same context as Trump was using it, has been used in the mainstream media in places like MSNBC.
Tonight on the, quote, bloodbath at the RNC. Headlines calling it a, quote, bloodbath. Yeah, bloodbath. Not only is it going to be a bloodbath, but after they made a picture, it's a bloodbath on her home turf. That's really tough. Has left a lot of corpses in his wake. I mean, we haven't counted the bodies as part of the, quote, MAGA drive to take over Maricopa County. And the headline refers to it as an impending bloodbath. Columnist Charles Wolf has a new piece for the New York Times entitled A Biden Bloodbath. 18 midterms, you can bet that they 100% are fearing a slaughter. In fact, the word bloodbath and massacre come up frequently. The Republican Party will be destroyed. It's going to be a bloodbath. There's going to be a bloodbath one way or the other. Bloodbath with Bernie Sanders. It's been a bloodbath. They're shaping up to be a bloodbath. Head off a bloodbath in next year's crucial midterm. Off-year elections are often a bloodbath. This week's bloodbath for Democrats. A bloodbath at the ballot box. There could be a Republican bloodbath. We'll talk about a bloodbath. It's a bloodbath. I have to talk about you. And it's going to be a bloodbath all day long. Is it for a bloodbath? Has it been a bloodbath on the way down? Donald Trump bloodbath. It'll be a bloodbath. It's predicted to be a bloodbath. May not be the bloodbath. It'll be a bloodbath. More of a bloodbath. It's going to be a bloodbath in November. Possible Biden bloodbath this November. A bloodbath on Wall Street. There's going to be a bloodbath in Alabama. Into a bloodbath. Obviously, there was a bloodbath. It was a bloodbath. We're down 800 points. This bloodbath, the Department of Homeland Security, and it's a bloodbath today. There was going to be this bloodbath. Election bloodbath. It could be a bloodbath for the bloodbath, possibly. Bloodbath that went through the Attorney General. Bloodbath 99 days out. The bloodbath is going to be like presided over bloodbath in the diplomatic corps. Look, in my opinion, bloodbath. The Democrats are calling it ticket sales. Turn into a bloodbath.
Whether these people are implicitly malicious or just complete ignoramuses, One thing is clear. The disavowing of truth and context is just sowing more political divide, and this is exactly what they want. But what do you guys think about the story? Leave a comment and let me know. Looks like the election coming up is going to be a bloodbath. But I do hope you guys have some popcorn because the upcoming election is going to be quite entertaining, as most of politics has been. Discouraging, exciting, hilarious, nerve-wracking, all at the same time. Why go see a movie when you can just watch the news, right? But hopefully we can continue to shine light on the mainstream media's misdoings, wrongdoings, and complete and utter inanity and insanity. But on a more serious note, an illegal immigrant named Basel Ebadi was apprehended in El Paso, Texas recently. So initially this guy claimed that he was going to make a bomb and that he was on his way to New York City. The story did change from this guy slightly afterwards, where he actually said that he was fleeing Hezbollah and that he was on the run as a refugee, of course. Now, he did say that he had no intention of taking lives and that he was on the run from Hezbollah, but he said all that despite having 7 years training with Hezbollah and 4 years of actual involvement with that group. Now, for those that are not aware, Hezbollah is a terrorist organization who are notoriously funded by Iran, a country that hates our guts. At least the Ayatollah and some of the people there. Now, do you think that he's telling the truth? Or do you think that he's screwed up by revealing the truth initially and then is now lying to backtrack, say that he's actually fleeing Hezbollah? More importantly, why are people just flooding across the southern border from places like Lebanon, the Middle East, North Africa, China? Here's a little stat of how many Chinese people have been crossing the southern border. Now, this is obviously due to the border policies, or lack thereof, by the Biden administration. Tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people are flooding across the border constantly without signing the book on the way in. We have no idea who a lot of these people are, and you're gonna get 1 out of every 100, 1 out of every 1,000, doesn't matter. You're going to get dangerous people crossing the border. We've already seen it, where multiple people, young women, have been assaulted, abducted, raped, murdered by illegal immigrants coming across the southern border. Now, another part of the story is that the United States Senate has blocked a Texas bill, Bill 4, I believe it's called, which is considered by some to be a controversial law granting sheriffs and local law enforcement the right to arrest migrants entering the state illegally. Now, some critics have said that this is similar to an Arizona law, which oversteps the federal boundaries. So there continues to be a debate about the border policies and whether states should have rights to enforce their policies over the federal government or in opposition to the federal government, etc. Whatever you believe, there clearly has to be some sort of border policies enforced where people aren't just allowed to flood across the southern border. We have too much at stake. A lot of people like to make the argument that the country was founded on immigration. Of course it was, but the vast majority of people who came here did it legally. We also didn't have as much at stake. We also had a lot of people immigrating here that shared our values. There are many people coming here from the Middle East and China that simply do not share our values. They are at odds with our way of life, and they want to take that from us. They want to topple us. Not all of them. I'm tired of having to say that. Bottom line is, many people coming here just want a better life, and I totally understand that. But we have to be able to differentiate between those people and evildoers, wrongdoers, like this guy seems to be. Simple as that. But nothing is being done down there. By the way, guys, if you do like the video, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Make sure to leave a comment, because that's really what I want to do. I want to try and engage with my audience. I'm going to be doing some live streams, and I really hope to hear your guys' opinion and get that feedback and create that community here on Beacon of Light. Now back to the news. Lastly, Nvidia has released its latest artificial intelligence chip called B200. So the B200 chip has over 208 billion transistors, which is absolutely mind-boggling. And Nvidia is really trying to put a stranglehold on their place in modern technology. The goal with this chip, as stated by Nvidia, is to completely and utterly transform and enhance computing power. A while ago, I started perusing a book called Singularity by a guy named Ray Kurzweil. Now, in the book, he talks about society getting to the point in computational power where we have a machine that can essentially do tens of thousands of years of human-level intellectual work in weeks, months, seconds, perhaps. We are edging closer and closer to that reality. We already see ChatGPT and other prominent AI companies gathering tons and tons of data to allow these softwares to think on their own almost through machine learning and algorithms. Will we get to the point where we see a massive outflux of jobs being taken over by artificial intelligence? What are the implications of these processing units in the political and geopolitical spectrum? We already know that tensions between China and Taiwan have been growing and growing for years and years now, with China doing multiple flyovers of Taiwanese airspace, repeatedly insisting that Taiwan is not a country and should be part of China. Now, my question is, what does the future look like when it comes to this type of technology? Will we get into wars over it? Well, we've fought wars for land, we've fought wars for food and water, we've fought wars for, well, money. There's a lot of money in semiconductors and microchips. There are already different types of war than we're normally used to happening regarding these things. Example, China and Taiwan. China does not want the United States to have an economic foothold on processors and certain technologies like this, not only because they want to be the next world superpower, i.e., their plan to be the number one economic superpower by 2049, the 2049 plan, which Xi Jinping has talked about repeatedly. But the icing on the cake is that the United States has Taiwan's back. We recognize Taiwan as a legitimate country separate from China. They don't like that. Not one bit. So we have two serious future discussions to be had about this subject. On one hand, the geopolitical implications behind who controls these types of extremely impressively powered and fast processing units and microchips on one hand. And on the other hand, the technology. How will the actual technology itself affect us? Will it make us more prosperous? Will it take away jobs and detract from our economy? Or will it be a mixture of both? Will it take over like the T-1000 from Terminator and Cyberdyne or whatever, Cyberdyne? And will we see some sort of machine takeover? Well, in many ways, we've already kind of seen a machine takeover. While they're not autonomous necessarily, we have become cyborgs and we are increasingly relying on these types of technologies in our daily lives. Will we get to the point where we don't have autonomy over ourselves, but rather the machines do? Let me know in the comments section what you guys think. Thank you for watching so much. I really appreciate it. I'm going to be doing some live streams coming up where we're just going to shoot the shit, talk about news, politics, anything in the news, tech related, some gaming stuff. If anyone watches UFC or likes fighting out there, let me know. Maybe I'll start a series about that. I've also started uploading some gaming streams to my YouTube channel. Feel free to watch those if you guys like it. Feel free to become a patron at my Patreon, patreon.com/Beacon of Light. And I wish you guys all the best. Have a great day, and we'll talk soon. See you later.